Do you know how to run a business credit check on your business, or do you know how to run one on somebody else's business? Even if you do know how to run one, do you know what to look for in that check? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today during our training. We're going to be talking about how to get credit reports with Dun and Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian to actually review those reports. We're going to talk about how others are doing this about your company right now on the stuff they're looking at. We're going to dive in and talk about how you can run these reports on other people's companies and makes all kinds of decisions, whether you want to extend credit to your customers or buy another business, so many other reasons. We're going to talk about what you actually find information-wise on these checks and what others are finding about you on these checks. And then we're going to talk about how you can control this information so you can use it for your benefit to grow your company, and also how you can control what others are seeing about you. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive in. Look, it's not enough just to build business credit. You have to check it, because reports can sometimes be wrong. Oftentimes they are, and you need the information to be correct. As a matter of fact, it's more important that your business credit reports are correct than your consumer credit reports, in my opinion. And here's why. Because consumer credit can only be obtained by somebody you give permission to pull it, right? If I want to look at your credit report, I can't just go pull your credit report. I need permissible purpose per the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I need your permission, which means the only people that are typically looking at your credit report is like the lender when you go to get a home loan, or when you go to get a car loan, or when you go to get a credit card. But business credit reports are publicly accessible. Anybody can get them. Nobody needs your permission to access them. So same thing, lenders, credit issuers are pulling them when they give you a credit card, when they give you a loan, when they give you a credit line. But it's not just that. Others are pulling your business credit reports to determine if they should lend you money, to determine if you should be able to buy their products and services. They actually are looking at it to determine if they should extend you credit, if you should get a credit card, if you should get a credit line, how much you should get. All those type of things we're used to. But your competitors are looking at them, your prospects, your clients, people looking to buy your business. A lot of other people are looking at your business credit reports. So you need to know what's on these reports because they're publicly accessible. It's actually your reputation, it's your credibility on the line. So again, what about running a business credit check on another company? Well, think about that as well. You know, a lot of businesses that you do business with, people that you extend credit to as your customers, or, people that you're going to ship things to and hope that they're actually going to pay you, or people that you may hire to do your lawn service for your commercial building, or anybody else that you're dealing with in a B2B setting. Look, it's a smart idea to be able to know how to access their business credit reports and learn everything that you need to learn about them. And I'll give you an example. I actually had somebody on my podcast. We talked about this, and I pulled their business credit report right there on the podcast. And I said, hey, I just pulled your business credit report. Do you want to go over it right now or later? And she was kind of nervous. She goes, let's go over it later when the show's done. So I always like that because it catches people by surprise. But what was interesting was after the show, she wanted me to run one on her competitor as well. And that competitor told us a lot of information. We could see a quarter that they were actually behind on payments. We could see where their payments were trending. And this information was helping her make decisions of what to do and how to deal with that competitor. So look, there's a lot of reasons that you might want to access business credit reports on somebody else's business. It's a smart move. You also want to run credit checks on prospects, which you feel might be your largest, most important clients. Why not? Okay. So there's a lot of reasons here. So for example, if we're going to look at somebody that we want to acquire, let's say, we'll just take an example. Let's say I want to acquire a company. Well, it's a good idea for me to not only just pull their business credit reports, but monitor it, because I can see if they start to go late on payments, and that indicates they're having some financial trouble. And you know what? That's a heck of an opportunity to get involved and start talking to them about a purchase right then and there when I know that things aren't going as great for them. So I can go on and on and on about examples, but the bottom line is it very well may be worthwhile to obtain business credit reports on other companies other than just your own. So according to Experian, business-to-business fraud is a multi-billion-dollar per year problem for U.S. businesses. E-commerce can be a way for businesses to hide fraudulent intent, and they are counting on it being too expensive or bothersome for you to sue them. So look, I don't know about you, but I'm exposed to fraud all the time in my business. And what I find and what's scary is that a lot of the time there's nothing you could do about it. And let me give you an example. I actually have a friend of mine, and he actually has a business, and somebody else in another country is representing themselves as his business. They're calling people, they're offering consultations from his company. Then they're getting on a phone, charging money for those consultations and services, and it's not even him. He realized it because he started to get complaints from people that were getting ripped off. And then he backwards researched and realized, oh my gosh, people are contacting these people representing themselves as my company when they're not even my company. Come to find out they're in another country. What do? You can't do anything because they're in a whole other country. So this is the kind of B2B fraud that's taking place right now. And this is why you need to keep an eye on your business credit reports, because public records are on there from lawsuits and judgments and bankruptcies and all that kind of stuff, days beyond terms, how you're paying your bills, all this other information about you is on your business credit reports. Keep in mind that the business credit reporting agencies are getting stuff from your social media pages, your website, the yellow pages. So a lot of this can come up and show itself on your business credit reports in certain ways that you can actually catch fraud because of what's actually being reported. Eric, thanks for coming in. Morning from Las Vegas. And Darnell, thank you very much for tuning in from YouTube. And Raving Junk Removal Entrepreneur, I love it. Hello from Tampa Bay, home of the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. You know I'm from Tampa Bay too. I don't know if you know that or not, but I'm looking forward to us winning the Super Bowl. Haley, good morning. Thanks for coming in from Facebook. I appreciate you tuning in. So let's talk about a business's ability to pay. Even if there's no issues with fraud, a business may become overextended. Okay, after all, they may be waiting for payment for somebody else. And just because they might not have checked upon their own clients doesn't mean you shouldn't, right? So trust but verify, as President Reagan once said. So look, bottom line is, even if you exclude fraud as a need to pull your reports and look at other people's as well, a business's ability to pay is something you should be looking at. Okay, somebody's ability to pay you before you extend them credit is very important. You can even set yourself up with alerts. So if something changes on their business credit reports, you can be notified. And by the way, it's exactly what credit issuers and lenders are doing for you as well. So let's talk about personal versus business credit checks. To run a credit check on a person, you need to have permissible purpose per the Fair Credit Reporting Act. As I mentioned, there is no Fair Credit Reporting Act in the business world. So anybody can and already is pulling your commercial credit reports and making all kinds of decisions about you. Look, I do a lot of training to a lot of groups. And some of the biggest groups that I train are people that buy and sell businesses. And I'm teaching them how to bulk purchase credit reports so they can go in and research businesses they may want to buy. And they're using those business credit reports to even determine if they're going to make an offer. Now, you might say, I don't know if that affects me. I'm not selling my business yet. But here's what's interesting. The most successful of them are not waiting for businesses to be for sale. What they're doing is they're finding an industry they want to target, like SEO companies. They say, I want an SEO company. In Florida. I like an SEO company in Tampa Bay, Florida. And what they start doing is accumulating a list of every SEO company in Tampa Bay, Florida. Then they start going through a due diligence process on those companies that aren't even for sale to find ones they want to make offers to. And part of that due diligence process is they pull business credit reports. So what I'm telling you is that you have potential investors and buyers that could be interested in your business right now, okay, or your concept, your endeavor that they actually want to buy, and you can make a lot of money on that. They're pulling these business credit reports and you don't even know it's happening. Now, that happens for a lot of reasons, but that's just one example of why and how this is happening behind the scenes. So the credit checks on your business is kind of a double-edged sword in a way. You don't need to tell a company you're checking their credit. This means they don't have to tell you they're doing it either. Your competitors can check it, as we talked about. Okay, so you'd never be the wiser. So two things. You need to know you have a huge competitive advantage of being able to get business credit reports for anybody you want to get them for. You also need to know that you have a huge competitive advantage because you know now that this information is publicly accessible and you can control your business credit profile scores quality. So therefore, when other people are looking and making these decisions, that it's pristine. And a large part of that is monitoring what's happening regularly. And you need to monitor what's happening regularly because stuff changes all the time. And just like with consumer credit, there's a lot of inaccuracies on that that can affect your ability to be able to work with clients, be able to have somebody make an offer on your business, be able to work with suppliers, lenders, credit issuers. So what should you be checking for? Well, you're looking for anything that would indicate a business's ability to pay its bills. If you're looking at a report for somebody else, this would include public information, okay, or such as bankruptcies, lawsuits, judgments. They even have lawsuits. I said lawsuits, but I'll say it twice. So if you are sued or suing somebody else, that shows up on business credit reports as well. A business paying off a recent large judgment, for example, would be on there. Might not have enough left over to pay its suppliers. So some things to think about. You also want to verify any information that the company has given you on topics such as business size and age. So this is interesting. Marcus Lemonis, and I often use this as an example. I watch The Profit. I'm sure a lot of you do too. And if you watch The Profit, there's one episode where he was going to buy this huge complex. And they did like everything. They did like pizza, and then they had like a sewing area. It was kind of crazy. And he saw some information that wasn't accurate, pulled a business credit report from the company. And to make a long story short, that told him exactly what he thought, that things he was being told by the owner were not true, were not right. And he did not end up making an offer on that business because of that. Now, that's one time he showed us he's pulling those business credit reports. But the reality is a lot of these investors are doing this behind the scenes, and they just don't publicize they are because they want to know what things about you that you don't even know that they know. So again, there's a lot of information out there, including company sizes, ages, that's even being used to verify. Your business credit reports are being used to verify information that you're putting on areas like applications, things like that. Now, if you're getting value from this, do me a favor, just hit the like button, hit the love button, even share to bring other people in. That helps the social channels be able to show it to more people. I appreciate that. Magnolia Pete says, I appreciate you for forever changing my entire approach on business. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Ken, tuning in from YouTube, says, hey, Ty, just got approved at Caterpillar for $18,000 in commercial credit for my trucking business. Thanks for your Facebook group. Thanks, Ken. And thanks for taking action. Congratulations on your $18,000 commercial credit line with Caterpillar. That's awesome. System, good morning. And Derek, you have like 30 inquiries and I hadn't done any of them. Okay, I'm not exactly, or yes, have like 30 inquiries and I have not done any of them is what Derek says on his own credit report. So again, this is what happens is nobody needs your permission. And this is why a lot of people ask me, do inquiries count into your business credit score? The answer is no, because anybody can inquire into your business credit reports and score without your permission. As a matter of fact, sometimes that could be bad. If you ever deal with a shelf corporation, if you ever deal with companies that sell trade lines, they will pull your business credit report. And I've seen people's credit reports flagged just because they're even dealing with those companies. So some things to keep in mind when it comes to inquiries. So let's talk about checking another company's business credit report with Experian. Look up a company on Experian's website. You can go to sbcr.experian.com/main-.aspx, or I have a shortcut for you at creditsuite.com/reports. If you go to creditsuite.com/reports, I give you a shortcut right to Experian where you can pull a basic information check on any business that you want to. Now, Experian will let you know if they found the company you're looking for, and they will show you two different offers. These prices are current as of the 4th or as of the end of 2020. You can get one business credit report for $40 basically, and this is for their standard credit score report. You'll get a score report with the company's IntelliScore and financial stability risk score. So, first of all, let me go back. If you do this free search, and you can go to creditsuite.com/reports to do it, 3 outcomes will occur. Either there's no record of the company, they don't even know that they exist. And then you can do this for your business too, and you should. The second outcome is that it shows the business exists, shows the name and the address. So whenever I do these searches, I never put in the full address. I just put in the state that the business is in. If Experian pulls up the full address, I know that Experian knows that business exists and probably has a business credit report for them. The third outcome is they'll say the business name, address, and phone number, and then or name and address. Then they'll also show trade lines, that the company has trade lines. So you have to be careful with Experian. If this is your report and it shows that you exist but no trade lines, then you could have a failing score with Experian. You need to start adding accounts to your business credit reports right away with Experian. But that will then prompt you to know if you should pull a report on them or not. If nothing shows up, well, there's no reason to pull a report. If something shows up or something shows up with trade lines, well, then it might make sense for you to get a report. The first score option they're going to give you is to spend $40 to get a credit score report, which basically is a very basic report with 2 credit scores. The IntelliScore, which is the main credit score Experian uses. It's basically a numerical calculation on how on average you pay your bill. I can't get that out right. So basically, if you have a 90 with Experian, that means that you're paying your bills as agreed. If you have lower than a 90 with Experian, that means that you're paying your bills somewhat late. How late, it depends, or determines how low the score is. Okay, the second is financial stability risk score. The financial stability scores are all offered by all 3 commercial credit reporting agencies, D&B, Experian, and Equifax. And this score depicts your risk of closing your doors, ceasing operations, going bankrupt in the next 12 months. That's a failure score is what they basically call it. So this report has both of those scores and a summary credit business information, just a summary. Not a lot of details, just a summary financial information, summary credit and business information on this basic report. Now, if you need to check up to 30 reports per month, well, then you want to look at Business Credit Score Pro, Currently cost $2,000 per year to get trade details, or pay $1,500 per year to get summary only. So again, we've got some choices here. Do we want really detailed reports? Do we want summaries? Do we want credit scores? When you go to check a business, yours or somebody else's, Experian is going to give you all of these different options on how many reports you want to buy. So look, you can see right here, if you need to check up to 30 reports per month. So guys, there's a lot of people out there. If you go to their website and Experian right away says, hey, do you want to pull your business or somebody else's? Do you want one report or 30? Then it goes to show you how many people are buying bulk reports, how many people are accessing bulk amounts of these commercial credit reports, because that's one of the main things they sell is they sell these in bulk, because a lot of people that are accessing commercial credit reports are doing it for a lot of different businesses. So you can get scored reports on most U.S. businesses. It includes credit data and public records with a credit limit recommendation. If you need more than 30 reports a month, they can provide a more tailored package for you. So credit limit recommendation is one of the other things that shows on these basic reports. Think about that. One of the most important things they show on their basic reports is the recommendation of credit you should be issued. So if you're not getting credit cards, credit lines, loans that have high enough amounts that you want, if you're getting credit cards for $2,000 limits and you want $20,000 limits, then you need to know that it's because the business credit reporting agencies aren't recommending you for high amounts of credit. So if you want to get higher approvals, then you need to get this credit limit recommendation up with Experian. And the way to do that is to add more trade lines to your Experian credit report. I know today's training is not about building your business credit. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I can't help myself by throwing in these tips. So if you want your credit limit recommendation to increase with Experian, I found the keys to add more trade lines, get more accounts that report to Experian, and use that credit. The more you use the credit, the more accounts report to Experian, the higher that credit limit recommendation will be. Now, remember, two sides to this. You can find out what credit limit recommendations Experian has for other people that you may extend credit to. So you might come to Credit Suite. We might pull Experian to determine if we should give you financing terms. And we look at what Experian says to see how much you can handle. So it helps you make decisions on how much credit you might give somebody else. And that also is what's controlling how much credit you're being given. So this is why you want to look at this on your report, and you also want to look at it on others' report that you might actually be giving money to. And Domingo says, muchas gracias for great information. De nada. Derek says, great to know. Thanks. I appreciate it. And Jeff, hello. How do I get this to turn off and get off my phone? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. And Raving Junk Removable Entrepreneur says, so I can pull my own business credit report from there. You can. If you go to Experian, go to creditsuite.com/reports. The very first question they ask you is, do you want to pull your report or somebody else's? And then they'll give you options. Now, you can also go to creditsuite.com/monitoring, and you can get your reports through Nav, and it's only $24. So that's a way cheaper way than doing this, creditsuite.com/monitoring, but you can directly get your reports from Experian as well. And Jeff says, it keeps going back on, and there's nowhere to get rid of it. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, Jeff. If you expand, I'll definitely try to help you. And Caesar says, good morning. I appreciate you coming in. Okay, so checking your own with Experian expanded. So you can order a credit score report for your own business. It costs the same as credit score report, which is about $40 and includes the same information. Experian has other options for checking your own business credit report. So look, you could spend $40 with Experian, or you could spend $24 at creditsuite.com/monitoring through Nav and get your Experian, your DMB, and your Equifax. It's a cheaper way, but you can get your own credit score report from Experian directly as well for that $40. Another choice is Business Credit Advantage. That is $189 annual. You can view and monitor your report and score, get unlimited access to your score, your reported score as well. So something else that you want to consider. And with Business Credit Advantage, you can also get email and mobile friendly alerts, score improvements and trends, dark web surveillance, dispute resolution, and identity of accounts. So several things here. First of all, you need to know about alerts, and I recommend alerts. All bureaus, DB, Equifax, Experian, the main three, they all offer alerts where you can get alerts if something on your credit report changes. And you can also get alerts if you pulled reports on anybody else and anything on their reports change. So if you're extending credit to customers, you can get alerts if things change in their world, and you can get alerts when things change in your world. Okay. Also, dispute resolution. A lot of people ask me about disputing with the credit bureaus. Experian, one of the easiest and best ways I found is through their credit monitoring. So if you have inaccurate information with Experian, the best way to dispute it is by getting on their credit monitoring platform, which I just showed you how to do it, and then dispute directly with them. That's one of the benefits they give you of getting involved with their credit monitoring services. So another option is the valuation report. It's about $99 per report. Get the value of your business, see key performance indicators, see business's fair market value. So actually, it's a pretty good deal. I use Biz Equity for valuations, Biz Equity, and our clients get unlimited Biz Equity reports. They can pull valuation reports on their business as many times. They can do it 100 times a month indefinitely. So I'm not trying to self-promote, but just keep in mind, if you are a Credit Suite client, you get indefinite access to business valuations through Biz Equity. You can pull as many as you want any given time after you're a client, like for months or years to come. But outside of that, this is a pretty good way to go. A lot of business valuations could cost thousands of dollars. $99 for a valuation report is a pretty good way to go. Something you definitely want to consider. Let's talk about Equifax. You can order a single business credit report from Equifax for about $100. Okay, that is a business credit report, or you can buy a multi-pack, 5 for the price for $400. Equifax business credit reports provide in-depth data, including company profile, firmographic information, company name, address, phone numbers, credit summary, synopsis of business credit accounts with banks, suppliers, other service providers, public records, Secretary of State, business registrations, judgments, liens, bankruptcies, lawsuits, all that stuff comes on these reports. You can buy for $100, or you can buy bulk of them for $400. Equifax business credit reports also provide risk scores. Equifax's business credit risk score, that's the main credit score that Equifax uses. And again, that just is a numerical calculation of how you pay your bills on average. That's all it does. It just reflects based on the trade lines that report to them, how you pay your bills. Do you pay on time, late? How early do you pay? How late do you pay? Payment trend and payment index, a 12-month payment trend in comparison to the industry norm. Additional company information, alternative business names, owner and guarantor names. Okay, now again, the reason this matters is because if you ever have a change in ownership, like you try to buy a shelf corporation, this updates, throws up red flags in this section of the report, and you kind of lose all the benefit you thought you were gaining, which is why you should never buy shelf corporations because of this section on the report. And they also have business risk scores to help you identify potential risk of late payments and business failure as well. Again, I told you they all have a failure score. You're getting the failure score on this report with Equifax. Okay, and again, if you're getting value, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the share button. That's what tells me I'm doing a good job, and that's what will help the social channels bring other people in. I appreciate you doing that. So Equifax business credit reports also provide business credit risk score, which we talked about that. The score runs from 101 to 992 with a lower score indicating higher risk. The business failure score, we talked about that as well. Likelihood of a business failing in the next 12 months. Score ranges from 1,000 to 600 and 1,610. Okay, and again, lower scores mean higher risks. You always want to have a higher score. The higher score means you're lower risk. Okay, Equifax doesn't have a separate report to order for your own business. Ordering a report on your own business is the same as ordering one from another business. Use your Equifax report to update your business information. Equifax won't let you update your records without buying a report first. Neither will Experian. That's what I was just saying, right? So a couple things. Again, remember, you can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring, and for $24, you can get Equifax, Experian, and D&B. Okay, we don't make a lot of money on a $24 report. I'm not trying to promote that to get rich off credit reports, right? It's the opposite. We wanted to find the cheapest way in the world to offer you business credit reports, so it's practical for you to own them and be able to monitor them regularly. And that's why we partnered with NAV to create creditsuite.com/reports. $24, you get D&B, Equifax, Experian. It's just so cheap. It's easy to monitor your credit reports. You don't even have to think about it versus spending like $100 with Experian for one report. Also, keep in mind, as I mentioned, Experian and Equifax make you go through their monitoring channels and buy the reports to dispute with them. Now, we can help you if you're a Credit Suite client. We help disputing with the bureaus as part of our process. But keep in mind, if you're disputing on your own, Equifax and Experian, you have to do it through their monitoring platforms. D&B has something now, it used to be called iUpdate. Now it's called their dashboard, and they'll let you update your dashboard information without paying them for monitoring. But keep in mind, Equifax and Experian will not do that. So we'll dive in and talk a little bit about D&B as well. Okay, and Marnette says, what if some of the information is incorrect and needs to be changed? That's exactly what we just talked about. D&B will do it through their service called their dashboard, and Equifax or Experian, you have to actually get their credit monitoring and go through them to do it. Now, there are other ways. If you go to my YouTube channel, creditsuite.com/YouTube, and you look at fixing or repairing business credit, I've got training just on how to do that. And on my training, I have addresses, fax numbers, everything you need to dispute with each bureau. So there are ways around this. but the faster, easier path to dispute is directly through their online monitoring platforms, or check out my resource on this where I give you the addresses, the fax numbers, all that kind of stuff as well. So D&B, you can start with our Credit Reporter Plus. It's pay $800 for reports for 5 different companies. This is the most comprehensive report they offer. It's not their basic report. It's the really detailed one. Okay, about the only thing it doesn't include is the D&B supplier evaluation risk rating, or called SIR. You don't need SIR if you're not dealing with suppliers. Okay, with this score, you can keep tabs on a supplier stability with a score that predicts its risk of failure in the next 12 months. But again, you don't need that SIR rating anyways, unless you're dealing with suppliers. If you are, then you can get a special report that just has that, or that has a supplier score on it. Otherwise, on this report, it's very comprehensive. It just doesn't have that SIR rating. It has the other 4 D&B scores. This also includes business event notifications, notices, lawsuits, anything that changes with ownership information, D&B viability rating to assess a company's future health and viability, real-time monitoring, industry trends, alerts, a detailed company profile as well. All of those come on those detailed reports. If Credit Reporter Plus is too costly, well, there are other options that are least expensive. Credit Signal Plus only costs $15 a month. 24/7 access to view 5 scores and ratings and get alerts to changes. So remember, D&B has 5 scores, so does Equifax and Experian. This is $15 a month, but here's the problem. You only get your scores and notified of score changes. You don't actually get the details on the reports. So not a lot you can do with this, which is why it's so cheap. But again, it is a cheaper way to go than spending what we just talked about before, which was considerably more money. Credit Evaluator Plus currently costs $61 per report. This includes a risk assessment, the Paydex score, detailed company report, risk of late payment indicator as well. So it has some of those scores and other information. Next up in price is the Business Information Report Snapshot. Currently costs $140 a report, basically. This report has more information on payments and chances that a company will pay late in the future. And these predictive scores are intended to help you in future dealings with the business. So keep in mind, D&B offers 5 scores, okay, and they offer them in 2 categories, what we call performance scores, based on how a business has performed in the past, strictly based on past information. That includes a Paydex score. Your Paydex score reflects how you've paid the trade experiences that report to D&B. If you pay them on time, you have an 80 score. If you pay them early, you get a 90 score. If you pay them late, you get a 70 score or lower, right? So Paydex is just based on stuff you've already paid, and based on your past performance. Then they have what are called predictive scores, which take into account financial data, firmographic information, trade experiences, and they predict what may happen in the actual future. Okay, got to shut this down. Okay, so it predicts what may happen in the future. So these actually give you access to predictive and performance scores, all 5 of their scores. The Business Information Report Snapshot includes everything in the Credit Evaluator plus D&B rating, payment history, delinquency predictor score, financial stress score, and the SIR rating. Those are those other scores. D&B rating is one of the other scores. Delinquency predictor score is another one. Financial stress and SIR rating are those as well. And again, if you want detailed information on what each one of these scores mean, you can go to youtube.com/credit suite and just search what you want. Dun and Bradstreet credit score, Equifax credit score, Experian credit score. And I do really in-depth training on each of the bureaus and all the scores they offer and exactly how those scores work and what they mean. For $189 a report, you can get a business information report on demand. It includes everything we just talked about and real-time monitoring, alerts, business event notification if ownership changes, lawsuits filed, bankruptcy, that kind of stuff as well. So a lot of different options that D&B gives you. Okay, a Credit Builder Plus costs $149 a month, and the premium costs $199 a month. Okay, for Credit Builder Concierge, you must contact them for pricing. Most businesses will do fine with Credit Builder Plus. You don't even need the premium from what I've seen. And with this, you get alerts when companies inquire on your business credit reports, unlimited access to view your reports, scores, and ratings, the ability to submit up to 12 trade references per year to D&B. So let's talk about this. This is actually a really good tool. Credit Builder is a way that you could take existing accounts you have and add them to your Dun and Bradstreet credit report. So if you want to expedite business credit building, this isn't a bad way to do it. I don't like it because it's cost. It's $150 a month and $1,500 a year. But if you have accounts like you pay software company and you pay other people regularly, well, you can take those and add those to your D&B credit reports. You can't add bank credit. You can't add credit cards. You can't add leases or rent. You can't add utilities, amongst other restrictions D&B has. But you can add, software or I don't know, whatever else you're paying on a regular basis for your business, that can be added potentially to your D&B credit report. And you can add up to 12 of those. So that could give you some trade lines with D&B and then make it easier for other vendors and revolving sources to approve you for credit. So this is a way to expedite your business credit building. You can monitor your credit and add accounts to your business credit reports with D&B. Now, Credit Builder Premium offers everything that we just talked about, plus peer benchmarking for 25 peer businesses where you could see how you compare to other businesses that you even designate that you want to be compared against. Unlimited trade references per year. You can add more than 12, as many as you want to add. Trade reference alerts when things change. But again, this is just, it's not something you actually need. You really don't need to get that level of monitoring, but it is something you absolutely can do. And well, some of this information is okay. Good. And Brandon says, and good morning, Brandon. Appreciate you coming in. Brandon Allen coming in from YouTube. Do you need 5 payment experiences per credit agency when building business credit with vendors, or 5 payment experiences in total? So we recommend 5 in total. So what Brandon is saying is, hey, look, I know I need to have about 5 payment experiences on my credit reports in order to move on and start getting retail credit at places like Amazon, like and Walmart and Sam's Club, like credited retailers. And that's correct. And he's saying, do I need 5 on each bureau or 5 total? And the answer is 5 total. You should really have about 5 total across D&B, Equifax, Experian. So if you have one account that reports to D&B, Equifax, and Experian, that really counts as 3 payment experiences. You should have at least 5 total payment experiences to move on to retail credit. Keep in mind, Brandon, anybody else, this is very important, that gets you started with retail credit. A lot of retailers still won't approve you until you have 8 or 10 payment experiences. But with 5, you can start to get approved with most retailers. And Amazon's one of the first ones to start with. They'll usually give you a net 55 account, man, like $10, $20, $30,000. We see these approvals with 5 payment experiences. To keep in mind, others like Office Depot, Staples, they might not approve you until you have 10 payment experiences. But when you have 5, you can start, Brandon, to be able to get approved for retail credit. And Amazon's a great account to start with at that point. Derek says, which is more valued by an underwriter, the financial stress score, the PAYDEX score, or the amount of vendor accounts? Well, it's a really good question, and it depends on the underwriter and what you're really looking for, okay? But I can tell you this. So the financial stress score, which is some variant offered with Experian, Equifax, and D&B, here's how it works. It takes into account payment experiences from your PAYDEX score. Then it adds in a layer of financial data. The financial data is categorized 3 different ways. And it's a deep answer to your question, but it will give you a lot of knowledge that I think will help you here. So D&B on the financial stress score puts you in one of 3 categories based on how much data they have about you. They either have your financials, meaning you supplied your tax returns to them, which if they're good, you should do. If your tax returns are solid and you show a profit and your revenue's increasing, give D&B your tax returns. It'll help your financial stability score. If they don't have that, then they look at the number of employees you have to determine your financial stability. It still blows my mind. It makes no logical sense to me, but it's how it works. If they don't have tax returns, they put you in category 2 if they know the number of employees you have, which they get from the Secretary of State when you file your annual reports. You don't even think about that. We're all getting ready to file annual reports right now. They say, how many employees you have? You say 0 to 5, right? No big deal. But what you don't know is that D&B is using that to calculate the financial strength of your business. The fewer employees you have, the weaker financial strength that you have. That's not for me. That's just how they evaluate this. Then the third category is they don't have anything. They don't have your tax returns. They don't know your number of employees. So again, when you're saying which is more valuable to an underwriter, well, it kind of depends on financial stress, which category you're in. If they don't have any information about you, then financial stability score is pretty much worthless. If it's just based on the number of employees you have, it's not that reliable anyways. But if you actually have your financials and tax returns, it's something you'll see underwriters lean on and use more often. PAYDEX is used by a lot of them because PAYDEX just reflects how you pay your bills. It's that simple. So I think from what I see, PAYDEX you're giving me 3 options, Derek, which is more valuable to an underwriter? PAYDEX, financial stress, and vendors. Mine would be PAYDEX first. Financial stress could be first if you have tax returns and it does have all the information it needs to calculate properly. And number of vendor accounts doesn't really matter. Underwriters don't look at that and count that. But That is the most important factor to calculating what your actual recommendation is for how much credit you should be lent. Okay. And it also is important for your main credit scores like Paydex. So vendors aren't really looked at by underwriters. They don't really care about that. But what they do look at is things like your credit limit recommendation and Paydex, which the number of vendors is the heaviest factor into that overall score calculation. So detailed answer to a simple question, but hopefully that gives you some more information. Derek says, I have a financial stress score of 1, which means you're very low. And the reason for that could be because you don't have enough accounts established for a Paydex score. So still add things to your business credit reports. And they don't have your tax returns and they don't know the number of employees you have. Those are reasons that could account for that being so low. But I see financial stability scores skyrocket when you add more positive accounts to your business credit report. So that's a tip to get that fixed. And Sista says, on Nav, I have 2 experiences under my legal business on Equifax and 3 under Experian. Will it still count as 5 total? Yes, that is correct. That is 5 total. But you still need to address D&B because a lot of credit issuers will look at D&B, and if you have nothing there, it could be a problem for you. Also, keep in mind, D&B won't populate a report for you until you have 3 accounts reporting to them and a DUNS number. So that could be one of the things that's holding you back from getting anything showing for D&B right now. Derek says, awesome, great analysis. Thanks for your deep insight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a recap here on what we talked about today, right? The big 3 reporting agencies all offer a means of checking your business credit reports and that of another business. Okay, so some things you want to consider. Reports are costly, so you only want to get them if you need them. And also don't forget, creditsuite.com/monitoring gives you the cheapest way to get reports on your business. If you're pulling them for somebody else or other businesses, you probably want to buy it in bulk. That's where you get the cheapest rate here through each of the reporting agencies. And again, make sure you're dealing with a business that will pay you. It's not a bad idea to pull business credit reports just to see if those customers are credit worthy of you issuing credit to. So a lot of reasons you want to pull business credit reports for your business, for somebody else's. A lot of reasons you want to monitor them. Go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. It's $24 to monitor all 3 of the reporting agencies. So we talked about how to dispute. We talked about your scores, what scores are available on a report. It's a lot of information, I think, that will help you determine the types of reports and scores for you to keep an eye on, where to get those reports for your business and other people's businesses, and what you can do with those reports and the decisions you can make. If you got value, hit the like button, crush the like button, crush the love button, and share this. That means a lot to me. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on the channel you're on. If you're on YouTube, click the bell beside subscribe and select all to get notified whenever we actually release new content. And if you got value from this, well, then tune back in. With Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock on Wednesday, all Eastern time, we go live, and this is what it's all about. It's how to get capital. It's how to get loans, how to get credit lines, how to get business credit, all the things you need to do to be able to make yourself fundable and be able to have the best chance of getting the most money, the best terms. We go live, or we actually have daily tips on places like Instagram, Facebook. We also have hundreds of videos on our YouTube channel and a podcast, the Business Credit Financing Show, over 400 episodes, 400,000 downloads. And we have all kinds of experts come on that teach you all kinds of things that will help you run your business and build 7- and 8-figure businesses, so that you can access all of our social links, including our podcast, at the top right of our page, creditsuite.com. And also, don't forget that if you give us a call, we'll get your business credit reports for free. That's right. D&B, Equifax, Experian, we will get you a copy of your business credit reports for free with all 3 of the reporting agencies. It happens on a business credit consultation with us. Then we'll give you tips and tactics to improve those credit scores. We'll do a fundability assessment to talk to you about all the fundability stuff you need to fix to be more lendable. And we'll actually do a funding assessment to talk to you about all the loans and credit lines you can qualify for. Right now, it all happens on a free consultation. There's 3 ways you can get a consultation. Call us at 877-600-2487. Email us info@creditsuite.com, or schedule your consultation online at creditsuite.com/consult. Now, Julio comes in from LinkedIn and says, do you guys report to D&B? We don't. We report to CreditSafe, and we're in the process of reporting to Equifax right now. D&B doesn't like us very much. And because, we help businesses build business credit, and anybody that's kind of in that world of manipulation of credit, and I don't mean manipulation in a bad way, we help businesses build it. A lot of credit bureaus don't like that, so it's tougher for us to report. And always great info. Appreciate that, Braden. And Raving Junk Removal Entrepreneur. Will a BBVA secured business credit card help? Yeah, it will if it reports to the business credit reporting agencies. Any credit card will. but I would check with them and see. There's not a lot of good secure credit cards in the business world. Wells Fargo used to have one, but I haven't found any others that I really recommend. So I would check, make sure they only report to the business credit reporting agencies. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a call for your free business credit consultation and to get your free business credit reports. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow on our next training. We'll talk about more cool ways to get money for your business. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.